Happy Independence Day weekend. I am so gratified to live in the United States of America, and I am indebted for the sacrifices others made to build and defend our homeland. Thanks be for the boundless opportunities and incomparable freedoms we enjoy in America. Help me never to take these blessings for granted. Guide me to live my life in a way that honors those who imagined and formed this country. Entrust me to help others in appreciating all that is good in this nation. Grant me the ability to be a blessing in someone's life today. May it be so.
Please join us as we light our chalice. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, to share. And now our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and freedom, and to help our neighbor. To these ends, we covenant one with another.
Our words for reflection today are from Sources of Our Faith by Robert T. Weston. A belief which may not be questioned binds us to error, for there is incompleteness and imperfection in every belief. Doubt is the touchstone of truth. It is an acid which eats away the false. Let no one fear the truth, that doubt may consume it, for doubt is a testing of belief. The truth stands boldly and unafraid. It is not shaken by the testing. We celebrate Independence Day as a symbol of the 13 colonies' repudiation of oppression by the King of England, and as the anniversary of our country's beginning. At the end of the Declaration of Independence is a promise made by the colonists to each other. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Today, some voices loudly assert that America has been deeply flawed from its beginning. These critics contend that the United States remains deeply flawed to this day. These detractors are dividing us and destroying the trust that holds our communities together. On this Independence Day weekend, I invite you to join me on a noble quest to thwart those voices, to restore pride in the United States of America, and to mutually pledge our faith in our fellow citizens. You are our nation's champions. I implore you to join me on a worthy and moral quest. Our goal is to unify the local communities. To fulfill our quest, we must complete 3 challenges: conquer fear, restore faith, and create peace. Only then will our communities be unified. Challenge 1, conquer fear. Fear is an ancient emotion. Fear triggers the fight or flight response, flooding our bodies with hormones that increase our heart rate, breathing, and blood pressure. Pundits warn of many reasons to fear: rampant sickness, soaring inflation, intractable supply chain interruptions, high crime rates, increased risk of nuclear war, looming climate catastrophes, uncontrolled mass migration, widespread racial injustice, and on and on. But fear is more than simply an emotion that we spontaneously experience. Fear is also used as a tool of control. At the risk of sounding hyperbolic or conspiratorial, I believe that agents of fear are all around us, and they use fear to influence and control us. Many divisions in our society are fear-driven because those agents use many means to inundate us with fear messages. Chief among these agents of fear are news outlets, both print and electronic, social media, politicians, and government bureaucrats. In a 2018 survey, large numbers of respondents said that it is either somewhat or very hard to discern the truth when listening to, in this order, elected officials, social media, and the news media. Fear is an unsurprising response when we have difficulty discerning whether the voices we hear are being honest. In the book and movie Dune, the protagonist, Paul Atreides, uses a mantra to manage his fear. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Just like Paul Atreides, we must face our fears, stand strong, and allow them to fade within. We are not powerless to protect ourselves from agents of fear. As heroes in this quest, our shield is skepticism, and our sword is inquiry. As champions on a quest for unity, we must master our shields and swords. Every claim made by an agent of fear, particularly news media and politicians, must first fall on our shields. Our words for reflection spoke to the value of doubt as an acid that can reveal the truth. On a continuum of belief, skepticism holds the middle space between gullibility and cynicism. Skepticism is an attitude of doubting the claims set forth by the agents of fear. The agents of fear frame their messages to evoke a particular response. Their messages appeal to our preconceptions, which makes them seem true. Yet preconceptions are nothing more than opinions formed without evidence. After a prolonged barrage of repeated messaging, we develop preconceptions about problems, their causes, and their solutions. The relentless repetition of fear messages is a form of intellectual manipulation. Repetition of the fear messages creates a perception of unsolvable challenges. Then the fear agents will use experts to relieve our sense of feeling overwhelmed by the complexity of an issue. Taking superficial excerpts from complicated and nuanced analyses, these pundits offer short, easy to remember sound bites, which they suggest are the answer. To increase the likelihood that we'll believe their fear messages, commentators use personal interviews and dramatic videos. Those productions are a form of emotional manipulation. When humans experience heightened emotions, we find it more difficult to be rational and to employ logic. Fear and outrage are the most commonly solicited emotions from these so-called authorities. Just like Chicken Little, the news media and politicians repeatedly tell us the sky is falling. The only thing that changes is the specific issue that foretells of our imminent doom. So we must doubt everything we hear from an agent of fear, no matter how much we might wish the message to be true. And when we have blocked these messages with our skepticism, then the time has come to wield our swords of inquiry and seek the truth. Discovering the truth is our duty, and we must undertake it wholeheartedly. The fourth UU principle encourages us to undertake this mission. We affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Our first challenge then is to conquer fear. We do this by blocking fear messages with our shields. Then, with unfettered minds, we use our swords of inquiry to search for the real truth. Make no mistake, this challenge is hard. Inquiry requires discipline and integrity, and most importantly, openness to new ideas. But only through our inquiry can we find the truth. In the 1962 Yale commencement address, John F. Kennedy told the graduates, "For the great enemy of truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic. Too often, we hold fast to the cliches of our forebears. We subject all facts to a prefabricated set of interpretations. Too often, we enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought. When we have learned the facts and engaged in the discomfort of deep thinking about all sides of an issue, then we can move to our next challenge. Challenge 2, restore faith. Our second challenge is to restore faith in our fellow citizens and in our country. We must relearn how to trust one another. Our society seems to have lost faith in citizens, having the common sense to solve our communal problems, and trusting our fellow humans to make rational choices. The Pew Research Center has explored opinions on the topic of trust across years of surveys. It's Pew, of course they did. They asked respondents to state their confidence in the American people to exhibit certain civic behaviors. Pew highlighted 3 issues where significant gaps appeared. Respondents' levels of confidence in others to treat others with respect, respect the rights of people who are not like them, and to work together to solve community problems. The elements in that Pew study underlie a concept called social trust. Social trust has beneficial effects for a society. Social trust makes social life predictable, creates a sense of community, and makes working together easier. Challenges that we face for our social trust are the increasing diversification of our country and an increasing isolation within our communities. While we welcome diversity, stratification into groups also brings an in-group, out-of-group dynamic that can make trust between groups more challenging. Sadly, we sometimes come to view members of other groups as our enemies. Archbishop Desmond Tutu advised, "If you want peace, don't talk to your friends. You talk to your enemies." For our quest, we must restore faith within our communities. Yet how can we do this when it means that we must listen deeply to those ideas with which we disagree? First, we enter each encounter by remembering the basic desires we share and the realization that we all have much in common. In my life experience, people around the world want the same things. At the macro level, we want to live a good life. We want a decent place to live, adequate food, safe neighborhoods, and time to spend with family, friends, and leisure activities. At the micro level, we want to be seen and heard, to have our opinions be respected, and to have our right to hold our opinions be affirmed. Next, for each encounter, we act in accordance with the first UU principle. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We begin each encounter by opening ourselves to the stories and truths of our neighbors. The Bible, in the book of Colossians, advises us, "Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity." When we can listen deeply, speak mindfully, and try sincerely to appreciate our neighbors' perspectives, then we can begin to restore faith. And eventually, we will be trustworthy enough to be invited to share our own stories and truths. In time, our community's faith in each other will be restored. But beware, 4 antagonists stand between us and our goal of mutual respect. Braver Angels calls these antagonists the 4 horsemen of polarization: stereotyping, ridiculing, dismissing, and contempt. Until the 4 horsemen of polarization are defeated in our individual hearts and minds, we can't restore faith and will remain divided. A common trait among the 4 horsemen is that their targets are depersonalized. Pronouns like they let us get away with a bad habit of grouping diverse people into a singular entity. We know that every person is different. We know that all members of a group, whatever group, do not believe the same things. So as soon as we hear the pronoun they, or we hear someone utter a label, Republicans or Democrats, capitalists or socialists, coastal elites or middle America, our stereotyping alert should sound, and we should raise our shield of skepticism. To restore faith within our communities, we must live the first UU principle and affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We must be kind, gentle, humble, and patient in our interactions. When we have done this, faith in each other can grow, and then we can move on to our third challenge. Challenge 3, create peace. This final challenge will be the culmination of our quest. We must create peace in our society. The 6th UU principle speaks to this challenge. We affirm and promote the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Social conflict is the adversary we must defeat in this challenge to achieve a lasting peace. Presently, the United States is steeped in social conflict. We see social conflict at all levels spread across myriad contemporary issues. Social conflict occurs when one group seeks to achieve its goals, while it also seeks to block other groups from achieving their goals. It is that winner-take-all mentality that has slowed the US Congress to a near standstill. The antidote to social conflict is collaboration. We collaborate to achieve mutually agreeable outcomes. And when we do this over and over again, we will form a habit of working together to solve our challenges. Collaboration will become a cultural attribute of who we are as a people. Only collaboration can break the winner-take-all stalemate and uplift everyone in our communities. The stakes could not be higher. The fabric of our society is fraying. The agents of fear get louder and more frenetic with every election cycle. The four horsemen of polarization grow stronger and recruit more minions. Social conflict, with its winner-take-all mentality, has been normalized. I believe deeply in my heart that collaboration is the key to reducing violence in our culture. It is up to us to save our fledgling union and strive for the vision of a United States of America as we celebrate a mere 246 years since we became a country. A wonderful poem describes the path to advance from thinking about a simple idea to internalizing a new value. In our third challenge, we progress from deciding to work together to becoming a culture whose very nature is collaborative. And in so doing, we will create peace. The poem's origin is unclear, but it's believed to be a mixture of Christian and Buddhist teachings. The thought manifests as the word manifests as the deed develops into habit, and habit hardens into character. So watch the thought and its ways with care, and let it spring from love. Born out of compassion for all human beings, as the shadow follows the body, as we think, so we become. As we think, so we become. We must reshape our very nature to become collaborators, valuing cooperation and compromise over competition. We must welcome incremental change, or change will not come at all. Durable solutions must meet the needs of the many, not simply those who enjoy the leadership role at any given moment. If we fail to collaborate with diverse others, then we will never create a lasting peace. And without lasting peace, what is to be the future of our country? The goal of the hero's quest is to unify our communities. We conquer fear, restore faith, and create peace. We collaborate with our neighbors, and they collaborate with their neighbors. Imagine raindrops falling on a still pond. Small splashes create ripples that intersect with other ripples. Soon, the entire surface of the pond is sparkling with splashes and ripples. That is the image of a vibrant community using the strength of many contributions and working together to overcome stagnation. As one candle can light 1,000 others, our efforts can ignite the flames of collaboration in our communities, throughout our state, and across our nation. United, we stand.
Please join us as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of our community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
I shall take my voice wherever there are those who want to hear the melody of freedom or the words that might inspire hope and courage in the face of despair and fear. My weapons are peaceful, for it is only by peace that peace can be attained. The song of freedom must prevail. Paul Robeson.